You're listening to Vince and Matt on the Montreal Marketeers podcast. Today we have a special guest, Nick Messina from Sicilianu Di Montreal. Nick, how are you doing?
Very good, guys. Yourselves?
All is good, man. I got a cannoli here.
Yeah.
I'm ready to go.
Good, good stuff.
I got the trip back to RDP. Feeling good. Hometown over here.
I figured I'd sweeten the deal a little bit.
There we go.
You know?
But this is the case, then we're coming every weekend. The interviews weekly over here.
Well, thank you guys for coming today. I'm looking forward to this. Kind of never did a podcast before, so it's very interesting.
We're gonna. You're not gonna be a virgin anymore in the podcast world. We'll break.
We're breaking the ice today. Exactly. Cool.
All right, so Matt, you go for the first question.
So Nick, for the people that don't know you, can you describe who you are and what is Sicilianu Di Montreal?
Okay, well, first and foremost, Nick Messina. I'm 36 years old. I'm born and raised in Montreal from Sicilian parents. Both my parents, my mom and my dad, were from the same town in Sicily, which normally sometimes you hear of people saying, "Oh, I'm half Italian," or "I'm half Greek," or "I'm half." But I was kind of lucky.
Which town, by the way? Which town?
Yeah, from the town from Cattolica Eraclea, which is one of the most known Sicilian towns, obviously in Sicily. So yeah, my grandparents immigrated here. When the whole immigration started, I believe was in the late 60s, early 70s. My parents too, obviously my mom and my dad, immigrated as well. 36 years old, born and raised in Montreal, grew up in St. Leonard, eventually moved to Montreal North, and now here we are in RDP.
So always an East Ender.
Always an East Ender. I figured, since my whole family lives here at the end of the day, why move out? Why go anywhere else? We're all about family. We like to keep the family close. I obviously have some uncles and aunts that decided to move. I got some in Blainville. I got some in Le Gardeur or Pontigny. But it's all good. I mean, the main family kind of, the nonna and the nonnos stayed here. So that's kind of cool. And basically started this Sicilianu Di Montreal thing it was about 2015.
Wow.
Yeah.
So in terms of Sicilianu Di Montreal is not your only thing you do, right? You work, you have a let's say regular job that you do day in and day out.
For sure. Well, now I'm in sales.
Okay.
I sell automobile sales, automotive sales. Work for Dessous Dodge Chrysler, which is in the West Island. Chrysler products, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, Fiat, and we also have an affiliate dealership too that started with the Alfa Romeo line.
Oh.
Yeah.
So were you always into cars? Is always your...
No, I was not always into cars, but I was in other methods of transportation, predominantly the aerospace industry. About half of my work career, I should say about 15 years of my life were devoted to Bombardier Aerospace. So I worked there in the electrical installations department back in the day. I got laid off once when I was unionized. And obviously, because I had a background in union delegates and I got to know a lot of people in the offices, they kind of gave me a second chance. So they're like, you know what, either you stay home and collect chômage, like an unemployment insurance, or either we find you an office job. They saw that I had interpersonal skills. So I said, you know what, let's do this. Let me go in the office. And I stayed there for another 5 years until, unfortunately, there was some big layoffs. And unfortunately, I was part of one of those layoffs, which kind of led me to start my career into the automotive field because of the fact that one of my passions, while I was at Bombardier, my passion has always been since I was a little kid, cars, and that's pretty much why I decided. I said, you know what, let me start going into the automotive industry.
Was it easy? Let's forget about the industry, but was it easy to do, let's say, a sales, like to transition to a completely different aspect of it?
Well, the transition period for me was kind of easy.
Okay.
Obviously, part of my life was also devoted to the Italian car club in Montreal that I was vice president of. So basically, getting to meet a lot of people, getting to know a lot of people in the automotive industry, sales managers as well, and basically the day I got laid off. Because when you're in the office, they literally take you out. They escort you out.
Yeah.
So I did a little post on Facebook, reach out to my fellow confrère, like if you want to call that, my fellow co-workers, just to say, good best of wishes. It's been great. As of today, I no longer work. And someone in my entourage, being a sales manager at a car dealership, reached out to me when he saw my post, and he said, "You know what, Nick? You're going to be a salesman. I see it in you. You have it, man." He goes, "You have everything it takes to be a successful car salesman." He goes, "And you know what? If you want to do it, if you want to try it out, man, it's all yours." And the transition was surprisingly very, very, very smooth.
Yeah, because when you
very smooth.
And the reason I ask this is when I listen to you when you're doing Sicilianu Di Montreal on Instagram, it's all jokes and you have the comedic aspect to it, but you also have a very easy way to get your message across and to get people engaged with you. And that's where, to me, it was very interesting that how you mesh everything together. Because even in your persona, when you promote, we have a sale at Dodge, you see it that there's the same persona, but also like you really know how to get people to pay attention to what you're saying, which is very, very interesting.
I guess it's maybe a gift, I would say. Even for a salesman, and as much as it's kind of weird saying it, but either you got it or you don't. You're either a salesman or you're not, And I guess maybe the way I am, my how can I say this?
Your demeanor or your personality?
Yeah, my personality, exactly. That was the exact word I was looking for. Probably my personality, with the fact that I'm very outgoing, I'm an extrovert, basically gets the message out a little bit better. And if you know something, if you know what you're selling, if you know your product, it makes it all easier, right?
Yeah.
And not like you got to think of, what am I selling and what is the special and what is the promo? Like, obviously, you have a little paper and pen on the side with your little notes, obviously, when you're pitching your stories. But I mean, for me, what's important is to promote happiness, promote positivity. And if you promote something well with that positive attitude, then it's all more the better to get the customer to actually come in and to come and see you. And the fact that the Sicilianu Di Montreal thing kind of became popular recently, I kind of use that as well to help you sell a car. Because at the end of the day, you said the more visibility you get when you're in sales, the better it is.
Even if someone's coming to a dealership, if they know you, they might specifically go to you.
Exactly.
And that might be exactly what you need to.
Exactly. When you get when someone comes into the dealership that you didn't even book an appointment with, and they're like, "Oh, hi, oh my God, hey, look, it's Nick Messina. I finally get to meet you. I saw you on Instagram. I'm thinking of buying a new car. So I said, hey, I thought of you right away." So for me, it's like great. It works.
So
it works.
Do you stay humble in those scenarios, or like to me, if someone comes up to, oh Matthew, I know you, I'm like, "Oh, you know me. Oh, thank you very much."
I'll give you an example. Okay, just before coming home, right? Today was a work day for me. I worked today. Just before coming home, I went and pumped gas. I was at a local gas station here in RDP, and I'm pumping gas. And as I'm pumping gas, I hear, "Mr. Messina, hey, what are the chances of meeting you while I'm pumping gas?" And I'm like, "Who's this now?" So I turn around and I'm like, "Oh, hi, how are you? Good. Oh, my daughter, she's in the car. She wants to see you. She loves you. She finds you so funny." A little girl of like 7, 8 years old. And I'm like, how cool is that, right? So at the end of the day, yes, you have to be humble, because the whole experience for me is humbling.
Yeah.
You kind of do have a moment where it kind of gets to your head and you're like, how cool is this? But I kind of keep that for me, and that's where it's kind of, cool, man. It's like, and you like sometimes it's like you go to a place and you're like saying to yourself, wait a minute, now I can't go anywhere because chances are someone might know me. But chances are someone might not know you, but it's just the way you kind of think things in your head.
That's what happened when you went to the Apple store, right?
Yeah, exactly. The Apple store, exactly. Which was a kind of a joke that I
know, that was the best joke.
Day, yeah.
You have no idea what we're talking about this because you're from the West Island.
Yeah. So basically, I did a story post, just to say, okay, I did a story post where it was for Valentine's Day, in tune with the Valentine's Day theme. So I went to the Apple store, which happens to be Boutique Sicilianu, right? And we're advertising for them, but it's basically...
Besides a Big Apple.
Exactly.
Let's fit it into it. I'm an E kind of thing.
So I said to myself, as a Big Apple, so I said, "Hey guys, what's up? Happy Valentine's Day." We're in front of the Apple store, so I kind of pan my phone over and point up to the logo, And then I kind of made it funny to say like, oh wait, there was a guy, like pretended that there was a guy talking to me. And I'm like, oh, by the way, yes, I'm the Instagram guy. And no, you didn't see me here. Like, so make sure, like, whatever. So you kind of make it into a funny situation. Yeah. But all of this, has been it's a humbling experience. And you have to be humble, because the day you forget that, you never forget what made you start. And the day that you kind of forget that, or you kind of think that you're someone else, that's where sometimes it kind of can go sour.
Exactly.
So why did you start?
Yeah.
This Instagram profile, the Sicilianu Di Montreal.
Okay. Well, so basically in 2015, we had a December where we still had no snow. It was December 14 or December 15. It was almost 2 weeks before Christmas. We had no snow. So I was like, you know what? Let me do something weird. Let me do something quirky. I took out my lawnmower and pretended that I was going to cut the grass. So I was like, hey guys, what's up, Montreal? December 15, look at this. We have no snow. The grass is green. It's time to cut the grass, And I did this video and posted it. Believe it or not, this video went viral. Like, people were like freaking out to the point where Montreal's weatherman, which I like, is Mr. Frank Cavallaro, actually took that video and put it on the 6 o'clock news as part of one of his segments for the local weather. Okay? So that was one of the first videos that I put on YouTube. Okay? And then sometime in March, towards 2015, now there was that in March, because after that we had no snow in December, but then we had a crazy winter to the point where March 30th, we had a crazy snowstorm, like over 40 centimeters. So I posted another video saying, like, I love my grandparents and all, but I want to know what the hell did you guys come and do here in Canada and Montreal? Like too bad you guys didn't have Google back in the day, because if you would have Googled Canada, you would have known the weather here, and they probably would have never came, So it was kind of another funny joke that I kind of posted again on YouTube, and that video went viral too. I got a lot of views on that video as well. And the funny thing is that the whole Instagram, I literally installed Instagram and deleted it. Because I said to myself, what's up with Instagram? It's pictures. Like you're literally scrolling down and you're putting hearts on pictures. Like, what the hell is that? Like, what's the point of that? Whatever. And I deleted it. So literally deleted Instagram. And then after that, after I would say maybe a few months had passed, and I said, you know what, let me give it another shot. Let me reinstall it. I reinstalled it, but I was...
Is that because YouTube was going so well?
YouTube was going well.
Yeah.
Facebook was going well. I was sharing my YouTube videos on Facebook. And then after that, I said, you know what, let me install Instagram as well. Like, why not? Instagram, it's cool, it's different, we'll try it out. And at the beginning, I was like, what is, weird, really weird. And then one thing led to another. One of my first videos on Instagram was me in Florida. I went to Florida with my family, and I see people, I'm like, you're on vacation and you're running on the beach? Why, man? Just go on, just chill, man. Why do you have to even exercise? Like some people are, which is fine. But as they're running on the beach, they're pulling these weird faces because they're panting and they're out of breath. They're running on the, so it's so you're saying to yourself, these guys are weird, man. So I said, you know what, let me do a video. So I said, hey, I go, what's up, guys? I'm on this spiaggia today, and I'm running, and I'm pulling these weird faces. And I go, ora vedemo se mi cala la panza, which means let's see if my belly now gets smaller. And I posted it, and I got a few views. People started laughing. They found it funny. Oh my God, who's this guy? He's speaking the dialect.
And all this time you're doing this under Siciliano, or you're doing
and
this
all
under
this time
personal?
I'm doing this under Nick Messina.
Ah, okay.
Right?
Okay, yeah.
So one day I went to a local sticker shop here in Montreal, Lucky Graphics, because I wanted to put the Canadiens logo on my car for the playoffs.
By the way, Lucy is one of the nicest people on the planet.
Yeah, Lucy Confalone, the wife. It's Luciano's wife,
yeah.
Exactly. So I went in and I said, hey, what's up, Lucky? I go, this is what I want to do, blah, blah, blah. Let me know how it would work out, whatever. And he's looking at me and he goes, you, man, he goes, don't leave. He goes, I have an idea for you. He goes, this would be crazy. You should brand yourself. He goes, a logo, whatever. He goes, I said, yeah. I go, you know what? He goes, what name would you give yourself if you were on Instagram, So I said, you know what? It's kind of simple, to the point. I would say, I'm Sicilian. I'm from Montreal, so I said Sicilianu Di Montreal. That's probably what I would do. He says, okay, great. So he gave me a quote for the car, whatever, the stickers, blah, blah, blah. Later that day, he says, check your phone. He goes, check your phone. I'm going to text you in about 5 minutes. He texts me back with this logo of Siciliano di Montreal with the hashtag and the Siciliano. And I was like, wow, how cool is this? He sent it to me. And from then on, basically, that's the logo that I used to market myself. And I just kept adding on from there, you know. And I kept going, another video, another post, a picture, a meme, shout out here, shout out there.
A bit at a time, a bit
at a time,
there.
yeah. And sometimes I do a video and I was like, like I would be like, okay, another video, okay, I'll do another video, let me try out another video. And then to the point where my wife would text me, oh my God, babe, you got 1,000 followers. What? Oh my God, babe, you got 3,000 followers. What? You got 4,000 followers. And I was like, wow, like what the hell's going on? To the point where followers from all over the place, from Sicily, I have followers in Australia, followers in the UK, followers in Toronto. So yeah, it's been cool. It's been cool.
Yeah, I've seen even connections with New York too. I think is it Maria that's in New York or Toronto?
Zia Michelina, I think.
Yeah, Zia Michelina too in New York. He reached out to me a few times. He even called me once on my phone through a WhatsApp, and I was like, "Who the hell is this guy?" And yeah, man, we FaceTime with Zia Michelina. I was like, really cool, like really cool stuff.
He's doing something similar to you too. Like he's really pushing it. He got Snoop Dogg. I don't know if you saw that. He got Snoop Dogg. He had a picture with Bow Wow Wow.
Yes. And basically Snoop Dogg actually liked it. And
he
was
retweeted
like, wow,
it.
That was crazy. So it was kind of cool, you know? And it's nice. I mean, the Instagram community, as big as it may seem, is actually very small.
Yeah.
And that's what makes it all even more, a lot more fun, you know? Because you see other people doing the same thing more or less, and they keep the tradition alive. And that's what it is, basically. If you can keep your traditions alive and, you know...
Yeah.
Not to make the whole, you know, because sooner or later, as much as we say like, you know, we're of Italian origin, a lot of these things, they die out. And that's with any origin, whether you're Portuguese or Greek or whatnot.
Yeah.
You know, you got to keep the traditions alive. And for me, it was very important to keep that alive. And it's nice to see that other people are doing it as well, you know.
So when you, I want to start off by congratulating you. You're talking about your landmarks to the followers. You recently reached 10K.
Yes.
So congratulations on that. I'm sure
Thank
that
you.
You felt proud about that. It's pretty big accomplishment.
You know, for the longest time, I was at 9,400, 9,500, 9,400, 9,500, and I'm like, what is it? What's with this? Like, I couldn't figure out a way to get to 10,000, and I was like, what do I do? And I don't believe in buying followers. I believe in doing everything organically. To the point where, you know, because of my family and whatnot, sometimes you got to be careful who follows you.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of weird accounts out there. So I even literally have to block people because you're like, I don't want some kind of weird, page following me and whatnot. So everything has been really natural. And I just said, you know what, perseverance. Let me just keep doing what I do. And you never know, right? Until the day where I finally hit 10K. You get this funny swipe up thing. Now you can so you really, at 10K is really where it gives you another potential where you can promo for companies and reach out to other people and just basically promote what you're doing, you know?
And it's funny how you mentioned organic, because me and Vince actually have this discussion a lot. When you look at your posts, you actually see people interact with you. And that's the true tell if it's an organic 10K or not.
Yeah.
Because there's some people that have 10K and there's like 50 likes.
Yeah.
You have a very steady amount of likes that go through.
Yeah, the likes on a picture can vary anywhere between as low as 300 all the way up to 1,004, 1,003, depending on the picture, right? Yeah. Not everyone's gonna like a certain picture, which is fine. And it's kind of cool because you can even gauge yourself to say, okay, maybe next time I won't post such a picture or I won't post such a meme or whatnot, you know. But it kind of makes it a lot more interesting because you kind of get that interaction. So you kind of see how your followers are reacting to your posts.
Yeah.
And that's what makes
your very own
that's what makes
research.
it fun.
Yeah.
That's what makes it fun. Yeah.
So when you started this, when you first started Sicilianu Di Montreal, when you made the name change, where did you envision it? Why, at that point, where were you at?
All for fun.
All for fun.
I just did it for fun. I'm like, you know what? It's my page. Everyone has an Instagram page. I'll have my own page. But if I could market myself as a Sicilianu Di Montreal, cool. You know, to the point where I had a logo. So I said, hey, let me do t-shirts. I made t-shirts. All in good fun. I know, I did it all in good fun, to the point where I decided to even sell t-shirts, and some people reached out, yeah, I want a t-shirt, I want to buy a t-shirt. The people from all parts of the world reached out to me, and I was like, wow, how cool is that, you know? But I really had there was no purpose, there was no goal, it was just all in good fun. And one thing led to another, and sometimes I say to myself, it kind of blew up in my face, because now I have to constantly think of something and constantly think of a post. And people, it's like as if people are waiting.
Yeah.
They're literally just waiting, what's his next move, you know? And that's where it kind of gets a little bit overwhelming, I have to admit. But I really have there was no goal. I just did it out of all good, in all good fun, you know, in all honest fun. And now that I have people that reach out to me saying, hey, can you promo this, can you promo that? And you know what? What's good for you was good for me. And if I could make a little bit of a side hustle, a side salary on that, then why not? You know, and I'll use it to its full potential, definitely.
I'm just curious on that standpoint. Do you make sure that you choose a product, service, solution that aligns well with your brand and audience, or is it just, oh, okay, you know what? Yeah, that works for me. I'm making a little extra coin.
I'll be honest. I actually I was approached by a company that sells shoes. And these shoes are very unique. They're made with cowhide. Like all other shoes are made with cowhide, right?
That, yeah.
But these shoes here literally have the cowhide, the cow skin on the shoe. So I said, you know what? They're cool. They're funky. I actually kind of find them nice. I said, you know what? Let me give them a chance. But I did all this work. Like I tried to promo with them and reached out to some other company, and that didn't work. It literally didn't work out. So like it kind of makes me a little bit more weary of who I choose, you know, whoever reaches out to me. But I mean, if it's a company that can make someone's life easier, cool, I'm all for that. If it's a company that's web-based or an advertising company, cool, I'm all for that, because at the same time, that's what I do, I advertise myself. If it's a company that does natural wellness products or whatnot, like I'm cool, I'd be good with that, because I believe in natural stuff and, you know, like promoting health and promoting a healthy lifestyle, you know, so I'm good with that, you know. So basically, I do pick and choose more or less.
And I noticed you also do a lot of community stuff, like specifically Italian community.
Yeah, well, Italian community, definitely being of Italian origin, I always believe it's nice to give back, and with whichever way you can, and not only monetary value, like not only on the monetary side, but even on the time side. I have, I like to promo for Italian restaurant, whether it's Thai restaurant or an Italian supermarket. We all know of Panorama Italia, right? Which is a very, very strong magazine here in the Italian community. I'm doing some promo work for them right now currently. I even have some stuff in the back burner too with another predominant magazine in Montreal, which is Stile magazine. So, I got these people reaching out to me, which is fun. I mean, and at the end of the day, it's all about promoting your culture, your roots, who you are, and keeping basically the traditions alive.
So obviously that influences you a lot.
Before you go into that, I know what you're going to talk about, but I want to skip one topic ahead and go back to the influence topic. Yeah. But because you mentioned, I'm cool with that, I would promote that. Are you saying also that Nick Messina is Sicilianu Di Montreal? Is it the same? Are you always Nick Messina, or are you always Sicilianu Di Montreal?
Do you separate it out, or is it this? Are you always right now? Are you the same persona?
Because it looks like when you're choosing the products to promote on that side, you're really going to core for you at your heart, what you believe in. And
definitely.
So how does that work?
Sicilianu Di Montreal is Nick Messina, and Nick Messina is Sicilianu Di Montreal, right? Like I'm my own person, right? But what happens is that there's people out there that know me as Sicilianu Di Montreal. So at the end of the day, as much as you're Nick Messina, because of the whole Instagram thing and how everything, the course of events played out, yes, I'm also Sicilianu Di Montreal. But when it comes time to promo for a certain company or whatnot, then obviously that's the Nick Messina, right? Because if I believe in a product, then Nick Messina is the person who believes in that product, because I'm me, right? So that's how I kind of see things. But yes, I mean, when I hear someone on the street, hey, Siciliano, I was like, hey, what's up? Hi, how are you? It's, so at the end of the day, yeah, I mean, I'm a specific character on Instagram, but it doesn't mean necessarily that I can't be that specific character as Nick Messina, because that's who I am.
Okay. Interesting.
So going back to very good question, Vince. I think I'm the one that said, "Oh, we gotta ask this question."
I figured I saw the opportunity.
I know.
You're too slow.
I'm used to that. It's okay. So going back to the influence part. So there's obviously the Italian community, even the Sicilian community in Montreal that you clearly influence you a lot. Are there other people or other cultures that influence what you do, or?
Well, I have to say, I mean, other cultures. I mean, I believe every culture in Montreal, and we have a very, very, very big multicultural, community here in Montreal. So, yes, I kind of say to myself, you know what? Other people that really influence me, I would say, is I got to reach out also to the Haitian community. I believe they're a community that sticks together. They're very religious. They could be very funny too. So that's one of the communities that I find interesting, a very interesting community. But I would say, like, all in all, the one thing, like, what influences me basically is me, and my upbringing and my family and my language and my dialect, if you want, or because I believe Sicilian is a language. What also influences me is my experiences growing up as a Sicilian in Montreal. Being raised by my grandparents, which was not always easy. You guys know certain grandparents back in the 80s and 90s are very strict.
Yeah.
So that's what kind of influences me. It's really my upbringing.
And that's, I guess, where your creativity comes
Exactly.
too.
Exactly.
Thinking of ideas.
Exactly.
And we were talking about Michelini before, that's doing a similar thing. There's also Giuseppe DMC.
Yeah.
Do you look at them for also a source of inspiration of what are they doing?
They obviously have their own ways of getting their message across. The Italian community in Toronto, as much as it's the same as the Italian community in Montreal, it's not the same. There's this common expression that people like to use. It's called manja cake, right? So it's like basically a Canadianized, the Italian origin kind of guy, which not because not for any good or bad way. I mean, there could be someone called a manja cake in Montreal just as much as you could be called a manja cake in Toronto, which is kind of funny, and it's not to like demean them or to be mean about it, but it's kind of like it's a funny kind of stereotype if you want to call that. But I mean, Giuseppe DMC for me was kind of continuing the whole influencing on a social media level. Like we're constantly in contact, and he gives me like heads up or pointers. You should do this, you should try that. So I kind of find it humbling. The experience is really cool, and I got to meet up with him. And this guy is a phenomenal guy. Like really, really a family guy like me. He has kids. He's married. He has a wife. And he's just basically doing all Instagram now.
Yeah.
Till he literally quit his job and he's doing all Instagram, which kudos to him. It's kind of cool, to be honest.
Well, you're networking and you possibly could collaborate.
Yeah.
With these I'd be really interested to see maybe one day you collaborate with the Asian community as well. You never know, right? There could be something that you can do together, a story together that will combine well.
Like look, going back to the Asian community, there's a show on TV called Boss Ben's Show.
Okay.
It's I forget the guy's name, the host of this of the show, but I'm saying to myself, that guy is the Haitian version of Sicilianu Di Montreal, right? And he has his own show, to the point where a lot of people on my Instagram feed that comment, they say this guy needs his own show. So I'm saying to myself, wow, look at that! You got a guy, Boss Ben's Show, that his show airs on Sundays, and you even have people from the Italian community advertising on his show. And I'll give you an example, Meuble Italia. It's a predominant, they sell furniture here in St. Leonard. They advertise on his show. How cool is that, So that's why I said the Asian community is kind of interesting,
Yeah. So for anybody that has, anybody that wants to get into their personal branding or social media, any recommendations or how would you do it?
Definitely. First and foremost, just be yourself. Like you guys know, on social media nowadays, there's a lot of people copying people and basically taking a picture, doing their own version of it, which I gotta admit, sometimes, when you have a brain freeze or you get like a brain fart, if you want to use that expression, it's stuff that I've actually done myself too, But you look at a picture and you kind of say, you know what? Let me do my twist on it. Let me do my, like, and not literally screenshot the picture and then repost it, you know? I kind of like get an idea and I say, oh my God, that would be funny. Let me add my Sicilian twist to it, you know? Which is fine because everyone is more or less copying each other, but doing it their own way, which either makes it funnier or just as funny as the post that was previously done. But when I say is to just be yourself, is when you're doing a video. If you gotta do a video, just be yourself. And I find the best way to get your point across and to really get people to follow and what you're doing is to just to be yourself. And at the end of the day, people either like it, people either love it, or people just hate it, you know? Or some people just be indifferent. They'll be like, meh, whatever. There's another guy trying to be Insta famous. And my whole goal was never to be Insta famous. Like I said, doing this all for fun, promoting who I am, you know, just promoting my roots, my heritage, my Italian, my Sicilian roots, and that's it. And the rest is just kind of, like I said, blew up in my face. Yeah.
Cool. Vince, I'll leave you the honor. You usually have 3 questions or a question with 3 answers.
This time I know you have something brewing in the Matthew brain over there. Let's you try it this time. Let's see what you come up with.
So, I have one thing with Sicily. It's the wine.
Okay.
Absolute favorite thing in my world is Sicilian wines.
Yeah.
I know you've drank in Sicilian wines, and I know I've seen your post on it.
Yeah, I've drank in Sicilian wines. It's funny because, you know, obviously, you know, being Sicilian, you're like, yeah, you know what, we're gonna push the Sicilian, the Sicilian wine. You know, I was recently at a wine show here in Montreal as well. So yeah, obviously the Sicilian guy, you know, the Sicilianu Di Montreal is gonna want to drink. You know, I'll choose a Sicilian wine first over a Tuscan wine, but the Tuscan wine is probably even better than the Sicilian wine. It just happens, you know, but Sicily is known for their wine, you know, and specifically the Nero d'Avola grape, which is very, very, very common in Sicily. Frappato as well is a very, very popular grape. So yeah, I mean, like tonight I'm going out for supper tonight later on. I'll probably, when I get the wine list presented to me, I'll probably look for the Sicilian wine, and then I'll look at the price, you know. And then, you know, so you know,
like
if
a true Italian.
Yeah, if the Sicilian wine is a bit too expensive, I'll be like, nah, maybe I'll go with a Californian this time. You know? But whatever. But no.
What would be your top 3 by region wines that you go for?
Top 3 by region wines, I would say, and it's really weird because a lot of these wines sometimes are not even available at our local liquor commission. You know, they're more of a private import. But I would say most probably wine from Ribera. Okay. Which is something that I remember drinking once. I don't remember the name, but I remember the whole Ribera thing just stuck with me. And another one that I kind of really liked, and I like you said, there was the Frappato. I don't remember the region of that one though. Maybe you know it, probably you know more than me.
I know it's Sicily.
Yeah, exactly. And another drink that I really, really, really enjoy, that's from Sicily, from Caltanissetta actually, which is a region in Sicily. It's the Amaro Averna. Oh yeah. And the Amaro Averna basically is a digestif. It's an or some people even use it as an apéro. You know, as an aperitif, but it's really more a digestive. You know, you eat it after a nice meal. You know, with a couple of cubes of ice, some lemon, and that's really one of the things I really enjoy. I really enjoy.
When you have a heavy meal, you gotta get the centerba.
The centerba, funny. My wife is from Abruzzo. My wife is from Abruzzo, so yeah, the centerba comes from her neck of the woods. Yeah, so my wife is Abruzzese. Yeah, so the centerba is something I've drank. My father-in-law has a bottle at home, which basically, in my opinion, is just like spraying perfume in your mouth because it's so strong.
To me, it's Listerine. It's literally Listerine.
It's perfume. You know, when we drink it, we say stiamo bevendo un profumo because it's like perfume. Literally, it's like aftershave, cologne, man. It's like so strong. Yeah. But let me tell you, if you have a cold, have a shot of cenderba. It's way stronger than grappa.
Yeah. So perfect.
Yeah, it's very good. Perfect. The one thing I want to ask too, I want to ask another question. I'm just curious.
It. You always like to end.
Not always like to end. It's just like I wanna end it on a note that basically if let's say there would be a time where you felt that you made it, what would be that goal? What would be that like? Is it follower based? Is it your kids grow up and they see what you've become, what you've created? Where is that pride, that end goal? I'm just
Okay.
curious in this case.
Well, my end goal basically is just to continue being who I am. That's what it is. I believe that's part of life, right? My kids already see what's happening, what's becoming, right? To the point where they go to school and they have other kids in her school, and my kids are 4 and 7. It's more my 7-year-old, where other kids in class are telling her, "Hey, your dad is famous, eh?" To the point where she comes home and she says, "Well, Daddy, are you rich?" She goes, "You're famous now, eh?" But it's like, no.
That's the cutest thing ever.
We're not rich. I mean, we work. We go to work every day. I do my thing. I just happen to be this funny guy on Instagram, you know, which is kind of cute. It's kind of it's cute to hear that, you know.
So you're doing a story on that soon. I want to see that on Instagram.
Yeah,
soon.
probably one day I'll probably do that. That's probably a story post. Yeah, definitely. But I mean, for me, the ultimate goal is just hoping and being able to make sure that I'm gonna have enough ideas to keep this whole Instagram thing going, right? Because
So
right
it
now,
never ends.
Because right now it's very popular.
Yeah.
It never ends, and I'll admit sometimes I've reposted previous videos that I've done last year, you know, because I just hope that I can find it in my brain, you know, to keep on that creativity and being creative and whatnot. But I would honestly say that maybe one day my ultimate goal would probably be to maybe like have a segment or a part in a movie or in a TV series, you know, like Mambo Italiano, shot in St. Leonard, or like True Blood, or what was it? No, Bad Blood. Sorry,
Yes.
that was because of the whole Sicilian mafia thing. And I would have said to myself like, I wouldn't mind being that guy behind the bar at the cafe saying, "Hey, che bo, cafe," you know, like, and get a part in like a movie or something or another.
Yeah.
That for me, like, honestly, would say like, wow, like, how cool is that, you know?
Very
But
cool.
until then, Sicilianu Di Montreal, Instagram, and just Nick Messina. I'm just gonna continue being me.
Perfect. So how do boys end it? How do people reach you if they want to reach out to you on Instagram,
Well,
YouTube, Facebook? What's the best way to get in contact?
Best way to reach me is on Facebook, Nick Messina. I also have a Sicilianu Di Montreal page on Facebook as well. I'm also on Twitter, which basically all the posts I do on Instagram end up on Twitter, end up on Facebook, on my Facebook page as well. So I kind of have everything intertwined. But yeah, man, they could reach me. Social media, I'm reachable anytime. Like I said, Instagram, Twitter,
Direct message on
Facebook,
Instagram.
direct message on Instagram, Messenger as well, you know, on Facebook. So that, like, you know, various platforms of social media, very, very easily reached. And obviously, when you're in sales, the more people that can reach you, well, the more chances you have on your side of making a sale.
Perfect. Well, thank you very much, Nick. Thanks for the
Thank you.
cannolis. Thanks for your time.
Thank you very much. Thank you. It was
been a pleasure.
Real pleasure. Thank you guys for coming in. Thank you for the interview. I really appreciate it. Thank you for having me on your podcast. Thank you.
It was a
Thank
real
you very
pleasure.
much.
Thank you.
Pleasure. Thank
you very much. Thanks, guys.
Ciao, everyone.
Ciao.
Ciao.
Buongiorno a tutti. You didn't start with that. I was going to say, you didn't start with that.
Buongiorno a tutti. Ciao.
We hope you liked this week's episode. And if you'd like to reach out to us or just want to simply check out our previous episodes, visit our website, Montreal Marketeers, that's with 2 E's.com. You can also download our weekly episodes wherever you listen to your favorite podcast.
I hear the baby cry, waiting for the bottle to come. I heard the Lord say, battle has just begun. I heard my daddy say, life isn't worth the fight. And we hear Miley say, everything will be alright. I'm telling my life story. I'm telling my life story. I'm telling I heard the freedom bell singing on Sunday morning, but I played the jukebox pretty late the night before. I talk a good game by the way you need.